United States called porn stars.
I'm pretty sure there are more than the U.S.
We have the best ones, though, probably.
Yeah, we got the best ones.
I'd like to think we have the best porn stars.
I like to think that too.
I like to think that someday maybe our country will be known for more than
More than just having good porn stars.
We have the worst McDonald's, I've heard.
Really?
Yeah, like I refuse to eat McDonald's anywhere I go. And then like I was just in Bolivia and everybody's like, no, McDonald's is actually good. And I was like, no, it's not. I would definitely not eat that. And they were like, no, yeah, I've had it in the U.S. It's terrible. And I was like, what? Didn't we like start it? Like
McDonald's
I feel like,
in
like Germany,
Spain and Germany is pretty good.
I haven't.
I don't typically eat fast food.
Same.
But when I'm traveling and I just get hungry, I just get too hungry to the point where I'm like, it's either someone's getting their face torn off because I don't have that level of self-control. Like I just get irritable and I'm like, I'm gonna bang down a burger now from McDonald's in Spain and hope it's good. And then you get back to like your Airbnb and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is real beef?
Absolutely not.
Like,
Definitely not.
I don't know. I think in the other countries, maybe they have standards.
Yeah, we stopped having those here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taco Bell's just
for food.
Meat filler.
That's it. Just food. We stopped having standards.
Yeah, for food.
The United States behaves a lot like a divorced parent. You know?
Okay.
You ready for this? So, like, you kind of put this in my head. The United States set all the standards. They set the standards, so they think they can just not abide by them when they feel like it. Because, we came in World War II and we're like, this is how you do industrialization. This is how you build an economy. This is how you run an economy into the ground and then fix it several times over. And now we're here today. And
with bad McDonald's,
the United States is like, you guys can't do that, but we can. A perfect example was, do you see those people that got kidnapped in Mexico like 3 or 4 weeks ago?
No.
Going to get plastic surgery.
Okay, I'm really bad. I don't watch the news at all.
No, it's fine.
Unless it's like someone tells me about it.
Whatever, we'll fill you in. So this team of 5 roll down to Mexico to get some plastic surgery, and it was I guess they were like Hispanic or African American, and they had this big dude with them that was like escorting them, and the next thing you know, they ended up getting like attracting the wrong attention, getting kidnapped. Something happened in the situation, and 2 out of like the 5 or so people got killed, and then the Mexican government or like the cartels like apologized for it, like on the news or whatever. And I posted the apology in my Instagram story, and somebody messaged like, "Could you imagine if we did that?" And I took a moment. I was like, you know what? I messaged this person back. I was like, you know what? We do that, but we don't apologize. That's the only difference. So that's America behaving like a divorced parent.
I thought you were going to tell me that like we try to buy affection of other people with our money.
You think we do that?
No, but that was where divorced parent went.
Yeah, the divorced parent thing, it's usually a little, some turmoil. My experience, and then they're trying to like hold the standards until you have to behave and do things a certain way.
Yeah,
it's like you have to talk to people with respect, and it's like, well, literally last night I heard you screaming at another person with 0 respect, but that's no big deal.
Kemmerer's giving me the whole story on what happened in Mexico.
Diablo masks and guns.
No, I just had it on.
Where in Mexico was it?
The Good Place.
I have no idea. I didn't even hear about this.
I don't know.
Matamoros.
Okay. I was like, I spent a lot of time in Mexico, but I mean, this stuff happens.
Yeah, but you're not down there getting like plastic surgery and.
No, I'm not. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
But you do travel to a lot of places that are remote.
Yeah.
And do you ever have you ever felt unsafe in a particular place?
I don't think so.
You've never had like a situation that's.
Oh yeah, come on.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Nothing terrible, though.
Nothing that terrible.
No, I mean, people ask that all the time. And I'm like, honestly, there's probably been times that I felt more unsafe in, like, Philly. Or, like, shout out to hometown for Gilmore and I. Like, that's a safe spot.
Trenton makes. No, yeah, I definitely didn't pose that question because I've traveled.
Yeah.
So I wasn't posing that question to be like, oh, is it safe out there?
No,
it was more so like I've had kind of some experiences. And I think that United States is very dangerous, but we all speak the same language. So when you go to a place and you have
You're like lost and no money, and then
Yeah.
like something, and then you don't know how to communicate.
And then sometimes
It's always
like
fun.
culturally, how we respond to certain things are different. So like what your facial expression for anger looks like, another country's angry face is just like their standard face.
Yeah.
So like you walking around like sometimes like in kind of like Eastern European countries for sure. You think everybody's angry as shit, but like they're not. They're
They're
just
like,
kind
"This
of
is
like
my
going about their
face."
business. So there's different things. So I was
Yeah.
I was wondering if
that's
you've
fair.
ever had.
I feel like, yeah, I've definitely had some interesting situations, but I think honestly the most like frightening or unsavory situations I've been in have been due to like other people that I've been traveling with and the way they've handled things or not handled things, and I've been like making it worse. So
So,
like if
you're
it's
not really
just-
responsible.
I feel like if it's just me, I've not been in anything that I've been like, yeah, there's been times where I've gotten lost in a foreign country and like your phone doesn't work and you're just kind of like, okay, we'll figure it
No,
out.
I'm talking something significant.
But,
Like
like-
I want like robbed at Machete Point while skydiving or something like that.
Yeah, I'm.
Like you're on the plane and he's
I-
like, I didn't pack your chute. Give me all your money.
Yeah, no,
No,
I
nothing.
haven't had that. I mean, we had like a nightmare of like transportation on the last trip, but like that was just nothing to do with like unsafeness or no robbing at Machete gunpoint.
Well, that makes me very happy because I
Yeah,
I
I'll
worry
have to work
about you.
on that. I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to like get myself into a more entertaining situation because you're not the only one who asked me that. The people are like, what is the most dangerous story that's ever happened? And I'm just kind of like,
Flight got delayed.
yeah, right.
You gotta spit on someone.
I mean, I had a rental car in the last trip, and I'm like, we've ascertained now at this point that the clutch was probably slipping and not working, but was like on a solid incline on this hill that's like mostly paved road, and the car's moving. We're in first. Car starts to stop moving forward. Car starts to slide backwards.
That's always exciting.
So that was fun. Ended up having to like actually return the rental car because it legitimately would not make it up this hill.
That should be a thing. Like there should be like a little qualifier course.
Yeah,
for rental
this
cars.
car will make it where you need to go.
Why don't you take it
Yeah.
around the block and up that hill around the corner just to be sure?
Like a
Maybe.
driver's test, like
Yeah.
a pre-test. Yeah.
Little, make sure the car's good to go.
Yeah.
Like a pre-flight check for a rental car.
For a rental car. Yeah, that'd be great. Like, does this thing actually work?
Now,
But,
so like for
yeah.
the people listening, you travel. Is it safe to say you travel for work?
Yes.
You're making money from traveling,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
What is like the main purpose or goal or like objective or mission behind like these explorations?
Like where I'm going. It depends. So sometimes I'm traveling to do work with a brand or a hotel or within tourism. And then sometimes it is, I also host trips. So those would be something a little different where it's more planned and I'm bringing people along with me. So yeah, there's two like kind of sections within that. And then
Which one came first?
the brands and work and touring around for like content creation, photography.
So basically,
Yeah.
you parlayed your experiences traveling to create content or like capture, these marketing opportunities, and then you were like, you know what, I really like doing this. I want to share this with other people, or what?
So
why?
the hosted trips was actually funny. It was kind of like one of those things where like I'm very like Italian. If you're watching this, I'm clearly not sitting on my hands. But I feel like within food, when you sit down and you're enjoying food together, you're just like, okay, you need to try this. You need to try this. Like, it's almost like you appreciate something more when someone else gets to also experience it. And so for me, like travel would be a very similar thing in that where I'd be like, oh, I really want like other people to experience this instead of just being like, I went on a cruise and I visited this country. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You went to this country and you went to where they told you to go and you didn't actually like meet people from this place or try like authentic food, or you went to an all-inclusive resort and things like that. But travel is very stressful for a lot of people. The planning, the not knowing, the not speaking the language, the wondering what's going to happen if they're going to get robbed at Machete gunpoint. Like all of these
Dude,
things.
they're out there, the machete gun dwellers.
Not the machete gun dwellers.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're hiding.
So
Yeah.
I've known you for quite some time,
Yeah.
and you've been on the podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were on the podcast before, I don't know if we really got to what you're doing while traveling, because afterwards I learned like what you're doing while you're traveling.
Yeah.
And I like said to Gilmore, I was like, what the hell? When the hell did that happen? Like, how did I miss
talk about that?
Like, why didn't I, like, I want to know like all about that. And then we've gone to dinner and like, I
Yeah.
still didn't even like
Yeah,
really bring it up. Cause
no,
like
we
you
just
started
talked about
talking to my
Rambo.
wife and
Yeah.
then next thing you know, I started talking to your, like,
Yeah.
and I left and I'm like, damn it, I still don't know like how this all started, because it's very cool to me. You live like this renegade kind of lifestyle where you're out in these remote locations
Yeah.
for the purpose of, you know, showcasing someone's product.
Yeah, product, location, work, or whatever it is. Yeah, and it's
How did
cool.
that start though?
I think if you really enjoy something if you really enjoy something that you're doing and you enjoy it enough, you just kind of figure out a way for it to be like a business eventually.
So you intentionally set this up with the purpose of like selling
No,
or did it happen
absolutely
like
not.
organically?
It happened way more organically. And after a little while of it being like a little bit on the side and a little bit here, it was like, actually, this could be like, I can do this full time. And so fully transitioned out of a business that I ran for over 10 years and transitioned into what I was then doing on the side to making that full time. And that just kind of happened organically. And same with the trips that I host. It was something I said, like eventually down the road, I was like, oh, I would love to do this. But then people were reaching out like, hey, would you ever like host a trip? And
would you ever take me with you?
Yeah, would you ever take me with you?
Awesome.
And then people asked that and they're like, would you ever take me with you? And so then I like kind of threw out like a test run and I was like, hey, like who would come on this? And it was like within 24 hours, I was like, I have a trip full. And I was like, oh, I guess we're doing this now, not in 5 years. And then same. So I am hosting another one come June, another one in September, and then another one in November and December this year. So it's like they have just been like a real source.
That's
of,
almost like feels like every month, but I
Yeah.
mean it's not. But
it's not. But there's 12 months in the year, so it's not all of them, but it's some. But yeah, it started out pretty organically, where it's just like there was creating space for it, not needing to like assume it's going to work out before taking that leap and being like, okay, yeah, let's see if this is something. And I think for a lot of people, that's really the scary part, is saying like, well, yeah, that could be something, but it would never work out. Or what would it actually look like to flesh it out? And I think it's just being like, whether it's a little like brazen, refusing to live into a box, or just maybe just ignorantly hopeful that what you're doing is going to work out and you enjoy it, being able to like just really press into these things, and they just keep turning out. So it's like, okay, we'll keep going and see what happens.
I think what you're doing and your approach to this is your content one is very captivating, and that end of things is it's glamorous. It looks good. Like when you travel all the way across the world and you do that one picture and it looks amazing. Like
yeah, there's like one picture from like Bolivia. We shot this one set there and then shot a scene for a short film that I'm producing this year. And it's like, yeah, there's like a set with mirrors in there. I think they're down a little farther. Yeah, that one. And like, yeah, people see that and it's like, oh, that looks cool. And then you're like, right, okay, so here's the story. It took us 3 days to get there to that spot because there's no direct flights. There's no like simple way to get there. And then to like, it's 4,000 square miles of salt. You have to have the right conditions. We had 2 days to shoot everything. Like you need the water to be there. And then to get a mirror out there means like, you know, trolling around this tiny little town of Uyuni that is like,
find
somebody who literally, we had that mirror cut to size and then like slid it in the back of the car and like I'm holding it against my neck and we're like driving. Like it's not glamorous in that aspect, but it's a great story.
I think that when people get into like what you do, a lot of people are trying to do. And I think what they're not connecting to is that this isn't like, you're not chasing the likes. You don't want you don't want people to think it's cool that you're traveling.
No, I don't. I love it.
But you see those people out on the internet that are trying to sell you something, either a travel package or whatever the thing is. But when you see your content is very visible that you are like, this is you.
I hope so. That's always my thing. When people meet me and people that I haven't met in person, and then whether they come on a trip that I host or whether I, connect with them somewhere and they're like, you're actually kind of like what you are online. And I was like, well, I really hope so, because that would be really upsetting. But it is true. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to sell you something. And often that is like, I'm doing better than maybe people think I am. I want people to think that I'm happier than I am. It's a big pain point for a lot of people that follow me. It's actually entertaining that and I know we've talked about this too, that, people feel, oh, well, you should share more like this, or you should talk about your relationship more, or you should talk about your family more. And everybody has this idea of like what we're supposed to be selling or how we're supposed to be promoting it. And it's like, well, you're going to get who I am and what I feel is relevant to share with you, and what I feel like is my business to share with you. And if you don't like it, that's okay. That's fine. You don't have to be here. There's like a button you can hit unfollow and you can just like go somewhere else. That's
interesting. I guess that makes me think of this one idea that I had recently, that you're like the perfect person to run this by, because
oh boy, all right,
with artificial intelligence,
okay,
right? How hard did you work to create this picture? And then a computer comes along, right? And just creates this picture from like, say like you see these, AI generators that are creating these like works of art, or in my industry, like building, like eventually people are going to be able to create like fake pictures of work they didn't do to try and sell work. I honestly think the world isn't doomed. Like, I look at this as an opportunity. I'd be interested to see if you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Eventually, AI is going to get so saturated that like we're not going to know what's real when we're looking at it on the computer. That I think we're going to be forced to interact like one-on-one,
push us
like
back to actually be human.
Because think about it. Like, if I am competing with other companies to sell a house, but I'm competing with companies that don't have real pictures, how do I differentiate myself? I take potential customers to the actual real life thing. We go back to our roots. What do you think about like content creation and AI, and like how does that affect you?
I'm actually like, okay, so I was actually having this conversation with a couple people recently. I work out of a co-working space in Lansdale, so shout out to R5, everybody over there. But there's one of the guys that works there does a lot within tech and a lot within AI. And so he's like sharing, we were chatting through it. And then another guy that works out of there is a videographer. And so he was kind of asking the two of us like, hey, like in your line, same question, like in your line of work, like, does this concern you? And both of us kind of came at from the perspective, I was like, no, this is actually kind of awesome, because what it's going to force people to do, it's going to force people to, one, you're going to start to see the human component a lot more. So yeah, you can create something, but AI is only able to work on what's already out there. It's not going to come up with like, so say you have an AI doing editing, and then you have a person that's able to like use that AI, but then they're really able to hone in and focus on the aspect that they're personally really good at. So I think you're going to add the human component for sure. You're going to add that force for people to actually connect and realize this is a real person. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think if you love what you do and you're really good at what you do, then you have really no reason to be concerned. There's billions of people in this world. And if your business is reliant on connecting with other people, then you'll connect with the people you're supposed to connect with. And
That's the ultimate abundance mindset right now. Just owned it. Bring on AI.
Yeah.
I'm not scared anymore. You tuck me in.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I'm going to sleep soundly.
Like, I mean, we have to adapt and we have to change. So like, yeah, if AI is who we're competing with, then you can sit in a corner and you could cry about its existence and be like, oh, poor me, this isn't going to work. Or you can, shut up and get to work and figure out what you can do that it can't. And I think that's with anything. I mean, we saw a lot of this over the last years with people who either were motivated to do something with the time or the resources they did or didn't have, and they built something out of it, or people who got overwhelmed and sat down. And I think what happens in that, like within the last years, like within COVID years, nobody dare we say such a word, but like within those years, I think the gap between people and you and I have talked about this before, I believe that gap grew. And I think you're going to have the same thing. You'll have people who are running a business using AI, and that gap between the people who are are using that only and not adding in their own work or taking their time to proofread, check, or go back over it themselves, I think you're going to start to see a really big gap between those two, and you're going to just have a lot higher quality work from the people who are actually doing the work.
That was beautiful. I hope it was a minute long because it's going to make an amazing reel. Gotcha.
It's like, you said you're not here for the likes, but I am.
I am.
We're farming you for content.
We're farming you for content. I want all. How many followers you got? I want all of them.
I don't know. Check. I have no idea.
The content and your commitment to it is. I wish I had time to like stop and go to the participation trophy store and get like a little like trophy made for like the local champion. Of all the people I know personally, you're definitely top 3 creators between like a few hitters.
That's fun. Thanks.
Just your contents. When I first met you, you were doing, like corrective massage and stuff like that.
Yes,
and you were transitioning at that point.
Yeah, I specifically work with athletes for over 10 years doing like massage therapy, cupping therapy, strength and conditioning training.
You're highly recognized. Your hands are missed from the industry. I still get people that recommend you. I'm like, I don't know her. I don't know.
So it's been a hot minute since I've done that. It's a lot of work on your body. And as much as I loved it, it was never fully intended to be like my long-term plan. And it's really cool you transitioned away. I don't know how I got railed off on whatever your initial question was.
So when we met, it's like 2020, I think.
Okay.
Were you at that point actively creating content for companies or businesses?
No, absolutely not.
When was your first paid like creation, I guess? And what was that?
That's a great question. I'll have to think back on that. I remember like the big check that you get, and you're just like, oh wow, this is like legit. Like this could actually be a business.
Yeah, the little stuff is fine.
Like, the little stuff where you're like, okay, cool. Like this, like at first you're like, this company's like, hey, like we'll send you this free stuff, and that still happens too. But like at this point, I'd be like, yeah, if I'm like fully aligned with that, like what it is, like I don't want just like random stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. But what was your
house.
I can do this now check?
I'm trying to think, like maybe a year and a half ago.
Holy shit. Good for you. That's fucking awesome. I didn't think it was that short ago. I thought you've been doing this. I thought you've been doing this since like 2020.
I've been doing it, but like you're like, okay, so like but
you conduct yourself with such like grace and like you're poised in such a way that it looks like you've been doing this a long time.
Well,
Fair?
Good. Fair. Okay. Well, that's good. So a lot of I would say that part of my business has been about a year and a half, where like that part's been like more of a legit like percentage of my income. But what I've been doing longer would be more coaching and more, even the trips would be within the last year and a half too. So
you were doing some sort of coaching?
I was doing coaching for other business owners, which has kind of fledged into other creators basically at this point. So
what's that look like?
It's I do like a 3 or 6 month program, and it's one-on-one coaching. So it's working through the aspects of running a business, what that looks like, how to show up on social media, how to figure out what email marketing looks like, how you should be communicating with your audience, how you want to show up, what your brand is, what your brand voice is. And for people who are just starting out. And then there's the other aspect for people who've been in it for a really long time, and they're like, hey, I started this because I was sick of working 9 to 5, and now I'm working all of the hours, and I'm exhausted, I'm miserable, like I'm not pricing myself properly, like I'm worn out, like I don't really know exactly what direction I want to go with this, I'm trying to figure it out. And so just helping them realign with their goals and what they want to do. So though I have been doing this aspect of it for not as long, I've run a business for like 12 years now. So that experience hangs out.
You parlay your experience running like a successful massage business and then your content creation kind of like morphed together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, that was very organic of just people reaching out saying like, hey, how do you do this? Can you help me with this? Like, what does this look like?
So you just kind of, your calls to action were just people asking for help?
Yeah.
Or did you pre-plan any of these services where you're like, you know what, I would like to help other people figure this out, or you know what, I would
A
like
little
to
bit
do
of
this.
both. I feel like people reaching out, and then like people I'd be working with kind of on the side here and there for the past 6 years. And then that kind of morphing into like me realizing like, okay, like I can position this, specifically target those that I really intentionally want to work with, that are in the same community, in the same space, and running into the same problems that I'm running into, whether it's, you know, a brand reaching out and being like, hey, you know, like, okay, you're a business owner.
Yeah.
How many times have you had a customer be like, yeah, I think we should charge less, or I think I should pay you less? Like, I think, you know, like trying to negotiate rates.
I guess it hasn't
Not at this
really
point,
happened
maybe.
that much recently, but I mean,
Yeah.
back in the day, it definitely happened. And I was actually having this conversation with Ariel earlier about pricing yourself too little.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people that I've had this conversation with recently that I know for a fact they're pricing themselves too little.
Absolutely. So I think like, yeah, that right there is
And it causes problems.
It causes problems. It causes problems for everybody within our industry, because companies that we work with are all getting used to like, well, I don't want to take your rate. I can find somebody else to do it for less. And yes, you can. And unfortunately, within our community and our space, often the person you find that can do it for less isn't necessarily untalented. They're just undervaluing themselves. And so it's not like
you're competing with somebody that's very talented that's just willing to do it for less,
or doesn't know that they should be charging more or can charge more.
That's why we do the beer and wood parties. I make friends with all the other people that are doing the exact same thing as me, so that they can lift me up or I can lift them up. Because if everybody in any business, if everybody is doing better, everyone is doing better. There doesn't need to be this.
It's not a competition. It doesn't need to be.
It does take awareness or some sort of situation to make you okay with losing jobs, though, for not the right price. And I explained when I was talking to Ariel earlier, I was like, the only reason I'm okay with somebody being like, hey, look, like well, sometimes like you have to be good enough to sell the value. So you have to, one, know your value. And then two, unfortunately for me, I've been in situations where I didn't charge enough. And I know what the back end of that feels like. So when I'm going into a situation where someone's like, hey, I don't know if you're worth this, I'm flashing back to the situation where I'm like, damn, I got myself into a jam and have to get out now.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, actually, sir, like, or ma'am, this does cost this much because here's why.
Yeah,
So,
and they can take it or leave it. And I think that's a large part of it. So a lot of the coaching just came from a place of really desperately wanting others within my community and in my space to be able to say like, to really enjoy what they're doing again and not feel that feeling afterwards when they feel like they've taken too little money and then they're miserable and they're exhausted and they're like, I poured everything into this and they don't appreciate it. Instead of taking on work that they're like, no, I'm valued at what this is. I really love it. And if I'm turning it down, and I feel good about that. And that's okay. Instead of having this like the, you know, scarcity mindset of like, oh, I have to take everything I can because there won't be anything else. And when we do that, we basically just fill up space that we could be using for something else. And there's not space for those things to come in. So yeah, it's been really cool. I would say in that sense, it just kind of more organically happened and then grew and then more pitched towards people in that space, because I really genuinely love working with them and I want them to, it brings them up. It brings our whole community up in that regard.
So when you were taking pictures for your own like at some point you were doing this for your pure document.
Yeah.
You were documenting your travels or whatever. Sorry. And you got approached by a company to do a product kind of thing, or like how did that work?
Yeah, no, I mean,
the big one.
I love to travel and I really do enjoy it. And so, yeah, it was just happening and then organically and then growth happened within social media, and it's a really weird space, but it's a tool that can work really well for us if we let it. But yeah, no, the big one I did pitch out with them. So basically it's reaching out to this company, offering them what services I can provide, how that looks, what rates are, and conversations and a lot of communication.
So you just cold call companies that you thought
cold call, email, finding the right contact, finding the right
so you
person.
found products that you felt that you could do a really good job marketing their product.
Yeah, a product or a brand or a company, and within that. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I also have a full team that I take with me on certain projects, so that we'll do if there's a bigger production. So last one that we did was in Bahamas, so we did some work for a boat company and a charter company, and so yeah, there's a team of 6 of us. We sail the boat, we do all the videography and the photography, the modeling. It's a lot of underwater content. It's a lot of above water content. It's everything. And so that I basically manage that whole team, and when we pitch that out to a brand, they're able to work and connect with me. They don't have to worry about contracts with 15 other people. It's one person. It's done for them. They get everything that they need, and they love that because it's a whole heck of a lot simpler than saying, hopefully this person delivers, hopefully they don't. Because similarly, there's also people that, say that they can do something and then don't deliver. And unfortunately, a lot of brands and a lot of companies have had a similar issue in that regard, where someone is saying they can do something and then they pay them and then they don't. And then we all look bad.
I guess my inclination is to control the content creation in-house. And I take for granted that companies, one, I have just enough knowledge in content creation to do that. Just enough. But
just a little bit.
I think companies are threatened or maybe like intimidated by hiring their own content, individual or team. But I don't necessarily think that people realize the benefits of having, control over how your company looks.
Yeah, they're getting. I think
So
they're
you're
getting
kind of,
there.
You're kind of like a in-house marketing team.
Yeah.
But you're in-house but subcontracted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a unique business, or are there a lot of people doing this?
Yes and no. There are a lot of people that do this. I know tons of people that do very well in simply solely working with brands and products and tourism boards and hotels, and they make 100% of their income that way. For me, it's a portion. It's not my entire business, but yeah, there's a ton of people that are doing this, and it's actually really cool because a lot of companies are realizing, oh, this is actually where marketing went. Like, it's not in a newspaper anymore. It's not necessarily on a billboard. Like, it's where
6 people with cameras and a couple of GoPros and a drone on a catamaran in the Bahamas.
Yeah, and it's because that's where everybody's staring 24/7 is on a phone, and where you're putting this content. Like, they're getting access to people in a way that they never got access to people before, which means they're getting a market that they never had access to before, which means they need to understand and are starting to understand the value in investing in spending into that market.
Do you use your Instagram not necessarily to sell services, though?
No.
Your Instagram is like purely about what you are up to or you're feeling or anything like that. Does that help you gain business, or is your social media not really
No, it's a factor in it for sure. And so for me, again, like I said, like one of the biggest compliments for somebody that's maybe met me online and then meets me in person is to say like, oh, wow, you're the same person. And that's really, like I said, that's really important to me.
You're shorter in person.
I am shorter in person.
I'm setting an expectation.
So I don't know if you're watching
I don't want to
but like I'm
disappoint
sitting in
any
this chair, and if I sit like this, my feet don't reach the ground. So that's your fun.
Blur the feet out.
Cut that.
They're not showing, bro.
Blur them out, dude.
Okay.
They're not showing, bro.
That's also
No Prisoners Patreon.
if you want to see how short I am, you gotta get behind the paywall over here.
What if we just do that? We just blur everybody's feet out. We make everybody like, oh, this is no shoes.
Even if you have shoes on.
It's not no prisoners. It's no shoes.
Yes, no, don't be prisoner to the shoes. No shoe life. Dude.
I'm not. I'm barefoot. They're on the floor, and I'm sitting on them because. Yeah.
This episode's gonna get a lot of hits.
We'll have the OnlyFans account for feet, and it'll be right there.
I'm gonna make like a royal proclamation, bare feet from now on.
Okay.
It's like Gilmore's. Everybody's gotta have bare feet. We're gonna have feet cams.
A shoe cam.
Like a little check in, dude.
If you have a shoe cam, like, and we there.
It's gotta check.
You gotta check in on these digits.
Stupid, bro.
This is Thursday, No Prisoners podcast. Checking in.
Checking in.
That's how you content create right there, people.
Right there. That's
Don't let them fool you.
That's where the money's really
Be
at.
yourself.
So yeah, I'm shorter in person.
So that
I'm shorter and not in person too. It's just
but when I open the door for her, because if people listening, we're in a secure compound right now.
Yeah.
You gotta buzz in, buzz
bunker.
out. We
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah, you got to secure in.
keep it tight.
Yeah.
So I had to let her in, and the first thing I said was, you're a lot taller on the mats. Because last time I saw her was at jiu-jitsu, and I swore she was at least 2 inches taller.
Yeah, I'm way more intimidating there than here.
Yeah,
Not at all.
you're pretty
I'm just
intimidating.
kidding.
You're a little bundle of joy, but let the listeners know you can't sleep around her.
There you go. That's why people say, like, are you afraid when you travel? I'm like, no. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Just throw rear naked choking Mexicans. Just pay me.
Oh, man. No, I am the most safe I ever am in Mexico. I have so many friends and family there. Like
Friends?
Yeah.
Is
Good
their
people.
last name Cartel?
No, not those kinds of friends.
Oh, okay. I mean, everybody needs
Yeah.
friends in low places. You never know
Never
when
know.
you're going to go to
Yeah.
Mexico and get kidnapped.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, I feel that you've probably got good self-awareness and things like that,
I hope so. I mean, we're still here
people
33
don't,
years later. So.
People don't
We're doing
take
well.
advantage of people that are paying attention. They go for the easy kills.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to try and be like, you know what, this guy, he looks like he could maybe fight. I'm going to try and kidnap them. It's
Mhm.
like, no,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to go for the people that are completely not paying
Yep.
attention. Yeah. You probably look like when you go places, you probably blend in.
Yeah, unless I
You've
go
kind
to
of got that complexion where you could be from a lot of different places.
unless I go to Finland or Sweden or something like that.
Yeah, you
then
definitely
everybody's
don't
2
look-
feet taller than me and blonde and blue eyed, and everybody's like, you don't belong here.
Yeah. It's funny that they're so tall, but they spend so much time in the sauna. You think they would
Shrivel
Shrivel
up
up.
and shrink.
Maybe it's how they stretch out. Maybe we got it all wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a
It's the
sauna.
cold.
later.
It's the cold plunges they do before.
It
and
is a
after.
known fact that the cold does create large mammals. A
living in the warm too
while
much.
ago, we went down an ice age rabbit hole,
Mm.
biologically speaking, and the ice age actually yielded a lot of super animals because they had to be larger to insulate themselves.
Stay warm and not die.
Yeah, it's not what you would think would happen because there's scarcity in a blizzard. So you would think
so
there
if
would
there's
be
a blizzard, I'm
there'd
toast.
be lean mammoths. You know what I'm saying?
done.
Let me eat that lean mammoth meat. If
That's fair.
anybody's got mammoth meat, it's Joe Rogan.
I don't like the way mammoth meat sounds.
It doesn't sound appealing to me.
No, dude.
It just
If
feels
so-
like a lot of. It feels.
so
It sounds
si-
like it's fatty.
Let me run a scenario by you,
It does sound fatty.
right?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Focusing.
I'm a-
Just looking
I'm a-
at the animal,
I'm
the
a-
Irish elk over
I'm
here.
a very
Yeah.
successful billionaire,
Yeah.
and I just figured out how to, lab raise mammoth meat, but I need someone to market it for me.
Okay.
Would you take the job?
No.
All right, say you take the job,
We're paying
He's
you good money.
wrong answer.
but
no.
say we've got financial resources. you
Dude,
could travel.
six-figure contract.
We'll make sure you pay. We'll make sure you travel.
To sell mammoth meat, I get a 6-figure contract.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
dude.
world changing. No, we'll even throw in
I don't know.
a jet. We'll throw in a
Fucking
jet.
jet. We got to talk to our accountant, dude.
Yeah,
You're going crazy right now.
yeah, dude.
Jeff?
Well, I'm 3 Comma Club. This is a
I don't know what your
theoretical
accountant's
situation.
name
Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah, Jeffrey, because I'm
Yeah.
a billionaire, so we call him Jeffrey.
Shout
Yeah.
out, Jeff.
Absolutely.
When he gets a little drunk at the Christmas party,
Yeah.
maybe Jeff. Anyway,
Definitely.
you accept the job.
Okay.
How would you market mammoth meat?
Wow.
See,
I
this
don't
is
know.
why you just didn't accept the job.
This is why I didn't. Okay, so yeah, it's funny. I was like, I
Giant,
actually
short-faced bear.
I actually turned down more work than I accept. It's a terrible business model, but it's very true.
I think that's a good business model
yeah.
though, because it launches. If I accepted every job that I got a lead on,
Oh yeah, you'd
I'd be doing roofs, I'd be doing
yeah,
driveways, I'd be doing
exactly.
stuff that I don't do.
So yeah, so in that vein, I will answer your question. I'm giving myself time to think. I promise. We're
then
delaying.
We're buying. We're no
We're
dead
bu-
airspace.
Yeah, buying
Mammoth
time.
meat. Go.
But yeah, so I will say that to go back to the point where you're talking about your audience. So the audience within social media, it is important to me to be authentic on there, which is also why I'm really picky about what brands I do work with, because I don't want to just annoy everybody or piss everybody off or not be in line with what I actually am. So But the biggest reason I probably would not take on the mammoth meat, I don't know, mastodons is in this picture. You definitely, if you're listening to this, you definitely need to be watching this. And I hope Gilmar is going to show you a picture of what I'm looking at this
We'll get in
exact
there.
moment.
Yeah, it's
Just
there.
edit that in. Okay, cool.
It's what elephants wish they were.
Yeah, like elephants with like bear qualities to them. Anyways, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. How are
It's
we
a
going to
trick
market
question.
this? It is a trick question.
They would market themselves.
They would, in theory, market themselves, but the problem is that the audience that I would need to sell this to is not people I don't know that I would know how to communicate with.
Like Black Rifle Coffee guys.
Yeah,
What are you talking about? A mammoth meat sounds like anybody could benefit from this.
possibly. I'd probably want to go meet the mammoths, honestly. That's why I'd be terrible, because my first like play on that would be like, all right.
This is lab-raised mammoth meat. There are no mammoths.
Oh, lab raised. God.
Yeah. That's why I thought we were going to get around the whole like
Cool.
safe animal thing.
No,
So we can
I
say
wasn't
it's
thinking
vegan.
about, I mean, I'm not a vegan. I eat meat. Newsflash.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Dude,
why
that's the title of this podcast.
I eat
I
meat.
eat meat.
I eat meat. Yeah.
Yeah, we
content.
do eat meat.
Do you know
yeah.
how many people are going to watch that thinking like, oh, she's talking about men? No, talking about mammoths.
Yeah, you got your mind's in the gutter. You've been hanging out in south of the border too much.
I don't know. I feel like that's where most people would. Anyway, all right.
I think we
We've
need
just
to pull
thrown
the cord.
myself. There you go.
You know why you wouldn't market mammoth meat? Because there's no snorkeling or free diving involved with mammoths.
Maybe
you
they
can-
swim.
You
I
can
don't
go
know.
somewhere cold, like Alaska or something, and
Yeah.
eat mammoth meat and a
Do
igloo.
did your like passion for free diving, did that come from going and creating content for a situation, or like how did
No,
that
I
happen?
love the water. That happened first.
You're just like, I'm gonna see how deep I can swim. Like that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much what
I
you're doing.
swam like all through middle school and high school, and so I think, yeah, and then like realizing that my voice is going. There we go. Realizing that free diving was like a legit thing you could train in and learn more in, and I found that out, and I was like, yeah, sign me up.
You recently just went to a week long,
Two.
two week
Two,
long free
yeah.
diving course.
So yeah, I'm working on getting my instructor certification to be an instructor, so that I can teach other people how to free dive.
Who accredits free diving instructors? Like what governing body says
So
you're
there's
okay?
a couple. There's like mine is through Molchanov's, which is
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know who that is.
Molchanovs. I was
Yeah.
scared to say that word.
Yeah.
Better watch out. It's a crazy time.
But there's like Ida. I think Patty is starting to get in on it as well. They do the scuba. So
That's okay. She's burping right under
Yep.
our microphone.
right into the microphone.
Rude
It's
guest.
very rude.
Uh,
Yeah, I think yeah, so there's a few. There's a few different ones. I like the one that mine is through. It's pretty rigorous in the sense of there's a written exam, basically like a science test of understanding like what's going on in your body, what's happening, what changes with your blood and your lungs and everything at depth, and with each increasing depth that you're going down, what the body's capable of, like everything that's going on within that. So there's that component. There is a safety component where you need to be able to monitor your buddy, like who you're diving with, be able to successfully rescue that person if they have a problem, which basically means taking a depth dive and bringing up like dead weight, doing CPR at the surface, towing them back.
so are you like the best shape you've ever been in right now?
Right this exact moment?
No, like generally. That's it. Is it I guess this might be a dumb question. How deep are you diving?
Currently the deepest I've done is 37 meters.
And what's like the world record?
132, I think, or it might be it just went
100
up.
meters more.
Yeah, basically. So it's really not impressive when people are like, "Oh wow, that's really deep," and I was
So-
like, "Yeah, but no,
You went like 30% of a football field and somebody went like a whole nother football field.
pretty much." Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I
It's
think
crazy.
I don't think I've ever been exposed to free diving or anything like that until you started getting into it, except for this one other story or podcast I listened to where these guys were, I don't think they were free diving though. I think they were cave diving.
Oh, that is like a whole nother.
Yeah. And the story that like the guy's like scariest free diving story,
Yeah.
it took me like 3 different car rides to get through.
Yeah.
Because I kept like, I got to know what happens. But he's like, yeah, and then the dust started kicking up and the guy was all over and I couldn't see the light out of the thing. And I'm like, this guy's gonna die. He
Cave
obviously
diving
doesn't
is like
die because he's
whole
here.
Nother cave diving. I have a few friends that do that, and it's just like it's insane. Because you have something go wrong and you're in there.
And nobody's finding you.
Yeah, because you're the one who's going in to save them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What
It's no joke.
like what are the the milestones for someone that's getting into free diving? Like for instance, in running you got like the mile, you've got the half marathon. Like what are your goals, I guess?
So there's like it depending so if you go through the certification route that I went through, there's 3 different levels, and then you can either take a competition route or an instructor route or both. So like for the first level, it's very introductory. It's like 15 meters is your goal at that point. So like 45 feet. I'm real bad at math. Don't test me on that.
It's a little, it's close enough.
Ish. Yeah. So yeah, it's a more learning the equalization of how to balance the air between your inner and outer and middle ear. So there's a beginning stage to that. There's a middle stage where you're kind of learning that there's a little bit more to it, going a little deeper, understanding a little bit more of it as well. And then again, progressing on from there.
Interesting. What is it about free diving that you've gotten
attached to?
Yeah, kind of hooked
like,
to.
Why
I wanted to say
this?
addicted, but what is it? Because I understand, for instance, like we share jiu-jitsu in common. With jiu-jitsu, there's not a whole lot you can worry about in the world when someone's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like when someone's trying to choke you and you have to fight them, it's really relaxing because like you finish that and you're like, oh wow, I stopped thinking about like everything that's going on.
For very similarly, actually. And I think jiu-jitsu actually helped me getting into diving a lot because you're really forced to be in a position that by every reasonable, logical standpoint should panic you. Like you're in jiu-jitsu and someone's like, about to choke you or crushing you or something, which is everyone because I'm smaller than everyone. So everyone's about to crush me.
You're kind of dangerous on my
But so there you learn, but you also, if you spaz out, if you overreact, if you move quickly, you're actually going to make your situation worse. You're going to be more, make decisions out of panic instead of out of thought through methods. And so similarly, when you go into diving, for a lot of people, being deep in the water where maybe it's dark, you can't breathe, and you need to focus on where you're at, you really have to force yourself to stay calm, to think slowly, to really be present. And it's actually one of the most peaceful, if it's the most peaceful place I've ever been, is like completely in the dark, underwater, in absolute silence. And it's like, I think it's almost therapeutic at that point.
It's kind of, I think it's jiu-jitsu and I guess now free diving, now that you've explained it, it's kind of cheating meditation. Like meditating is really hard to sit still and like do that practice every day is incredibly difficult. But when you go and you're forced to be in the moment, what that does for you as an individual is insanely rewarding. What do you think free diving has helped you? Like, if I put you in a chokehold right now, do you think you would like?
Can I outlast?
Like, has like your choke defense gotten any stronger?
Okay, no. So common misconception that like when you are needing to breathe or have that feeling of an urge to breathe under the water, they're actually running out of oxygen, but that's not true. You're actually having a CO2 buildup, and that feeling of a need to breathe is actually to expel that CO2. So your brain actually has oxygen. You're not starving your brain from that. Whereas if you're in a chokehold, you are literally cutting off blood supply to your brain. So they are different.
Stay safe out there.
Don't just try to hang out in a chokehold for 5 minutes. You will pass out or potentially die.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if I ever come up at like in an altercation with like a free diver, if I could take them out or not.
Yeah.
That's basically a yes.
Yes, it's a yes.
Yeah.
Unless they're better at jiu-jitsu than you.
For the sake of this argument, we'll hold that condition.
Okay.
They're not.
Or maybe you're like fighting underwater, then that's different.
Do you feel like what belt are you underwater?
I don't know. Well, if the world record is like 100 meters more than me.
Yeah,
White.
I was more so jujitsu belt. Like if you were to wrestle underwater,
Oh, if we were to wrestle underwater. Wow, that's interesting.
white belt, 4 stripes.
Could you choke out a shark?
No.
Nurse shark.
Well,
nurse
they're pretty chill. You just like kind of want to hang out with them. Just
Right.
keep your fingers to yourself, where they'll think they're food and bite them.
Could you
Been
choke one
hanging
out?
out with, have you been hanging out with nurse sharks, dude?
I'm just asking, dude. I
Yeah.
saw one.
Do
Yeah.
I know? Did I not know something about you? Are you into sharks?
No.
They're really cool. Sharks don't scare me. The thing that exists in the water that scares me is crocodiles and alligators. And any of my friends that have dove with me, especially in Mexico, are very aware of this.
Oh, so dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, that's a
basically.
legitimate fear.
That's a legitimate
you.
fear. Yeah.
legitimate fear.
My one friend
Now, if
gives
you
me
were
a
scared
lot
of,
of
like,
crap for that.
If you were scared of manatees,
Yeah, no, that's unreasonable.
I would conclude this interview.
What
We're
about
done.
whales?
No.
You're not afraid of whales?
No, I
You're
really
afraid
wanna
you
see
might
it.
accidentally get sucked up?
No.
What is this? Geppetto?
No, a Moby Dick, bro.
Oh, Moby Dick. Dizzy.
Jonah.
Oops.
No, bro. I feel like if I saw a whale swim next to me, I'd be scared as shit. Even though they're probably not gonna do anything to me.
They're super cool.
Yeah, because
I'm just-
who's gonna try something? You know,
Yeah, who's gonna try
Yeah.
something?
they see those hairs, those locks.
And locks,
What do you
Yeah.
think of Gilmore's hair?
locks and loaded,
He's
dog.
beautiful,
Good
right?
hair, yeah.
Yeah, he's got something. It's like
Yeah.
he can't cut
He's
it.
one of those ones that like you have some girls and they're just like, why
He's
does
one
this
of the
dude
real
have better
ones.
hair than me?
I got that all last weekend. I went out to Philly with some friends,
Yeah.
and most of them were girls, and they all just huddled around me and talked to me
Subtle
about my
flex.
Yeah.
hair. Subtle flex.
He's just like, yeah, I was out last weekend with all these ladies.
He's like,
it wasn't like
I eat red meat.
Anna.
no, Anna was there too.
I was kidding.
No, they just kept asking me what I did with my
Just want to see
hair.
like how easy it was to make Gilmore blush.
Yeah, I blushed quickly. But yeah, it's kind of it's what I got going for me right now. So I'm proud of it.
He's like,
I love how he said
that's
it's like
the only
that's
thing.
yeah.
That's not the only
I like
thing
how you
at
picked up
all.
on that too. He's like, yeah, it's what
For
I got
sure.
going right now. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna
That's-
shy away from that.
That's more the the subtle flex is to just say like, oh yeah, that's like my only good quality, and have everybody else be like, dude, no, it's not. You're that high school girl that's like, oh, I don't look very good today, and they're like, oh, you look so great.
I think Gilmore should be Luke. Pull up Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, did you not see his Juan Wick?
That was good. Yeah, Juan Wick was a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
That was
cousin's
better.
so fucking dumb, bro.
I thought
dude,
that
Liu
was
Kang, dude. This is what you should be for Halloween. Guatemalan Liu Kang.
Dude, I literally walked into my parents' house for Easter. I came into the backyard. First thing he said to me was Juan Wick. I'm like, all right, well, hi to you too, dude.
Hi.
Yeah, and they just kept calling me that all day. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
It's trending, dude. You're trending.
Yeah, that movie just had to come out. But
Well, here you go.
now I could be Liu Kang.
What is?
You've got options.
Yeah, I have options this year.
Yeah.
Didn't have
It's
that
good to
last
have
year.
options. That's what hair does for you.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
have
Gives
that
you
last
options.
year. Yeah.
If you feel like you don't have options right now, look into some hair. That wasn't funny, dude.
Yeah, it was.
There was nothing.
Yeah, it was. Looking at some hair. The fuck?
Why are you guys?
Because it's funny, bro.
And he's like, I feel attacked right now. I don't know.
No, it's funny. I like it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, if you got nothing going for you, looking at some hair.
What? So, what is next? Like, what's the next thing you're looking forward to? And we'll end on
me?
that.
I thought we were back on Gilmore.
We'll wrap it
No,
up.
I was right.
For me, my diet.
more-
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
that.
No, yeah,
What's next?
because I know I could talk to you for hours,
Oh, for sure.
and we got to eat dinner and things like that.
Yeah.
So I
That's a
figure
thing.
I was gonna ask you what you're like most excited for, or what are you most looking forward to right now? Is that one of your questions? Did I just still?
Wait, before you ask that, I was gonna say you guys talking about AI earlier, and I told Andrew, I was like,
I didn't see your AI. Wait. I wanna
What?
see. What?
No,
Oh, we talked about AI.
you guys were talking about
Yeah,
AI.
yeah,
Popcorn
yeah.
and-
Sorry. Can't hear.
Okay, yeah. So we were talking earlier about we were texting Andrew, and I was like, I got to think of a good question to ask you because you have so many good questions that you
Okay.
ask. So then I thought, let's just ask AI and see what questions it comes up with.
Oh, I'm ready.
Is
for
this a new segment?
Okay, new segment.
Ask
I don't know. It came up.
Ask AI.
It came up with 10 questions, and a lot of these are, I don't know, questions that someone would typically ask. But number one, it's funny because the last one, that question you just asked is the last question on this
Oh.
list.
You have
dude,
been-
I'm synced up with AI.
Yeah, you're synced up with AI,
There's
bro.
the human component.
Yeah.
It stole it from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We won't
Just
acknowledge
kidding. You should
that.
be worried,
We
actually.
won't acknowledge
Okay, so we've just proved that actually Andrew's completely replaceable.
Yep. This episode's completely ruined. I'm going to quit.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
it said what's something you're looking forward to in the near future.
What?
But you asked what's next.
Yeah.
Just kind of close.
Kind of close.
Damn it, dude. Like, you know what? I'd like to know
Yeah, I'd like to know.
what you're doing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're
yeah.
most
Like,
looking
what
forward
are you
to.
doing next?
Yeah.
I am excited. I have a lot of cool trips coming up, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Yeah, I have.
You can't say your whole year. You're looking forward to the whole year. You got to pick something.
Okay.
Give the people what they want.
What do the people want? Probably, honestly, I am like torn between two. Okay.
Okay, you're
All
allowed
right.
to. We'll
I
permit
can
it.
have two. Okay.
We'll do it.
All right. So in November, I am co-hosting a trip with a friend, fellow creative within our industry, and we are hosting a trip to Jordan for a bunch of other creators. So photographers, videographers, people who are working in the space, trying to get into this space more and learn a little bit more of like kind of what you're saying, like, how do you do this? So we're actually hosting a trip together in Jordan to basically share that country, show them around there a bit, and yeah, and then just, you know, talk business, work together. Yeah, have like a solid like 8 days to just have fun, visit cool places, and vibe and create content together, as much as we all hate that word. So yeah, that's actually, and honestly, like, yeah, we'll give that the top of the list because Jordan is a country that means a lot to me and I haven't been able to be back to since pre-COVID. So I'm actually really, really excited to get back there. I have some friends that live there that I haven't seen in like 3 years.
And Jordan's the country that Michael Jordan owns, right?
Yeah, that's his country.
Okay. That's what I always thought.
Yep.
I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why their flag is the swoosh.
Yeah, you thought right.
Yep. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully you see him while you're there.
Yeah, I'll give him a shout out. Be like, yo, Andrew said hi while we're visiting your country.
I mean, if you're,
If we run into him.
He knows what you're talking about. You'll know.
So your runner up.
Runner up is Tahiti in December.
You're picking things that are like all the way at the end of the year. Should I
Yeah.
be concerned? Do you have nothing to look forward to?
No, I have other things to look forward to.
I
but
thought you were gonna be
limited
like
me and
next
you put me
week.
in a box. So
Nobody's baby in the corner.
you put me in a box.
Bro, she's
and I
getting the
panicked.
answer you asked for. Now you're like, what the fuck?
He's like, actually, I don't like that. Give me something else. All right, you want to know what I'm looking forward to tomorrow? Is I get to lift tomorrow.
I said like, what's coming up that you're looking forward to? You like pick something at the end of the year. You know, that'd be
Fair.
like me being like, you know what? I'm really looking forward to my birthday. It's next January.
All right, fine. Tomorrow, I'm really excited that I get to lift.
Okay.
Hell
Does
yeah.
that make you happy? Or
Yeah,
is
dude.
that more soon?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's a good one.
I'm happy that it's nice out
It's
right
little
now.
wins, big wins.
Yeah,
We gotta, I feel like that's a good one though.
yeah. I'm gonna go lift tomorrow, and Mike is home, so I have a spot, which means I can like destroy my legs. So that's actually very exciting.
Nice.
Nice. And the truck is running, I'm assuming.
Well, it is right now.
Yeah.
It wasn't yesterday.
It made it all the way back from.
It made it back from California. It had a little panic attack, and it's moderately functional at this point.
That's race car stuff. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you drive a race car as your daily driver.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He has
Hi,
a daily
Mike.
driver. It's an yeah. Hi, Mike, and your truck.
I think it's cool.
It's a cool truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 97 Chevy Suburban maroon. And
It goes places.
yeah.
Like if you're thinking about maybe doing like a bank job, like robbing a bank, and you need,
Yeah, like
and you
this
need a
would be-
getaway vehicle,
Yeah.
this would be the perfect getaway
Absolutely.
vehicle. It's that one right there on
Yep.
the top left, but that one's not as fast.
Yeah.
That was not as fast. I just know.
So yeah, there's the
You could pack up a whole crew of creators in that thing.
yeah, you could.
I'd like to see Mike go cross country with like a team of creators. I think that would be an excellent.
That would be a great documentary. Gilmar, you want to get in on that one?
What's up, dog?
Yeah, let's go.
Down.
I appreciate you for coming on
Thank you for having me.
and like all the kindness. It's gonna sound cheesy, but the positive energy that you put out into the world is I hope other people appreciate it as much as me.
Well, me
That's
too.
honestly.
But if they don't, that's all right. You can go somewhere.
And I'm not gonna fire shots at anybody, but it's nice to see someone that's like inspiring people with cool content that is real. Like you're a rose amongst thorns.
Yeah, you're a real person.
It's a real
Thanks,
person.
guys. Aw,
Yeah.
y'all are sweet.
Don't cry.
I won't.
Why are you crying?
Don't cry.
She's crying, everyone. She's crying.
Quick.
Last question.
Don't turn the video on. Okay. Yeah.
How long can you hold your breath underwater?
Over 4 minutes.
Oh my
Gee.
god.
I got a good couple seconds in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel
let's
like if
just
you
go to
gave
the
me like
bathroom after this
30
and see who can do the
minutes.
most. We'll fill the sink up with water.
No, just do it in the toilet.
That's not where I thought. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't want to get that hair wet.
Gilmore's Okay. Fair enough.
Can we do anything for you? Can we help you in any way? What do you got?
You guys are great. I feel like I get to stay connected with you both and like learn a lot from you and have friends and
I'm supposed to do something important now that I'm remembering.
Oh.
Ooh.
I have to schedule a double date
Oh.
before you leave.
Ariel gave you instructions.
Yeah, she was like, "While you have her in front of you,
Put dinner on
put
the
it on the calendar."
Yeah, we can do that.
Because
for sure.
our schedules and your schedule is like,
Yeah, I'm home till June.
no way.
Yeah, so we got like time to schedule
That's
something.
different.
Let's not sleep on it.
Yeah, so we can make that happen.
Gilmore,
no,
you're
I
invited too.
I appreciate you guys having me on always. Yeah, bring Anna. We'll make it a triple date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
And
ask her.
then he's like, she might not want to come.
No, she'd be.
Okay,
Anna loves
okay.
people.
The only
Okay.
reason she wouldn't come is because she's busy studying.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Okay. No, I appreciate you guys having me on, and yeah, anytime you're let people know about all the whatever I have going on, I'm always happy to
This
connect
World, My View.
with. Yeah, that's
Kick-ass
the fun.
name.
Come travel with me. You can listen to the podcast. My recommendation is to tune in and listen to Gilmore and Andrew's episodes.
I loved Gilmore's episode.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was good.
I loved your episode.
I felt like I've been trying to like inch out Anna to be the most important person in your life for a long time. And I think after listening to the podcast, I realized it's unachievable.
It will never happen.
I've tried so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I do need to figure out the video still for yours
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because I lost it.
It was a really good podcast. I enjoyed listening.
Thanks. Yeah, I liked yours too. I still remember you said your favorite food was Reese's Cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
The favorite food.
Yeah, he said favorite food is Reese's Cups.
Yeah.
Fast forward to our podcast with Ariel here. I'm getting busted for
So if you ever want to know, like, so we'll rat you two out then, I guess. Then
Yeah.
we're on your podcast and you want to know the difference between Gilmore and Andrew. Andrew's favorite food is Reese's Cups. Gilmore's is his French cuisine.
I'm high class.
Oh, fuck yeah, you are, man. Those things are decadent, dude. They're hard to make.
Yo, you can't just name a whole like that
No,
would be
he got like specific
I know
afterwards.
that. I know
Yeah,
that. I
but, like,
listen.
yeah.
But
If you wanna
by
know
saying French cuisine would be like me saying my favorite food is candy.
Candy. That's what you said, basically.
No,
No, fuck with
Andrew's
that.
favorite food is like,
Yo, cut the podcast. We're about to fight.
yeah, he's
No,
like,
I-
we're done. We're finished right now.
I mentioned the
Throw
lamb
some
shank.
back.
That was my favorite
yeah,
thing. You know?
Yeah,
That's what I
that's
said.
good.
That's
No.
what I had on
I
Sunday.
just felt like Reese's to French cuisine was like the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
contrast we could have gone.
Gilmore
with,
left,
so.
and you were like, might want to
Yeah.
check on Andrew's diabetes. Ariel jokes, like, not jokingly, but all the time. She's like, it's coming for you.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't eat that much sugar. And she's like, but still.
I feel like that's kind of like a wife's job to like give their husband as much grief as possible for the sugar that they take in.
Yeah, I heard a story the other day about a wife
You're not
that I
doing this
know.
podcast ever,
A
apparently.
wife that I know tricked her husband, like, while she was, like, they were having kids or whatever. She was pregnant, that, like, he had to do, like, so many squats or something in a day to increase his chances of having boys.
What the fuck?
So, like, she got him into shape by, like,
That's-
and then
I don't
think
know
that-
what's funnier, the fact that like she thought of that and did that, or the fact that he didn't bother checking to see if
Yo,
that was
for real, just believes her. All right, yeah.
Okay.
Checks out.
This
Cool.
this was the No Prisoners podcast. Trust your wife and
Yeah.
do the squats.
Yeah.
Gilmore, Rambo's not here tonight.
He's here in spirit.
And Andrew. Thanks for listening.